Okay, everybody, here we go. It is me, Gregory Mannarino. What a day I've had today. Honestly, Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. I'm in the new place. It's a freaking disaster, but I'm just trying to make it functional. Can all of you hear me and see me okay? I hope so. I got a lot of stuff to talk to you about. And, I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing because it's just so insane. I don't even know where to start. All right, let's talk about this market because there's a miracle going on here. There's a freaking miracle. All right, let's talk about this miracle that's happening here. So yesterday, the 10-year yield broke over 5%, strongly over 5%. And then just I don't know, just something happened. We watched the 10-year yield fall from over 5% to like 4.82 in a matter of a couple of hours. And now a very interesting phenomenon is continuing. It's staying there. The 10-year yield, obviously a mega buyer is out here buying a lot of debt. That's how it works. When the debt gets bought, the yields drop. All right. I think what we're seeing here is yield curve control, which we know. Look, let me explain this to you about yield curve control in case you don't know. Central banks, including obviously the freak show Federal Reserve, they're always involved in yield curve control. How do they keep rates low? They can't just say it. They can't just say, "Hey, everyone, this is what we're going to do." No, they have to get into the market and make it happen. Understand? Yes, I don't have curtains on this window right now. The house is just barely getting put together. Anyway, so obviously, people, the Fed's buying debt and they're buying it hand over fist as it's being dumped, not just by the freaking bond vigilantes. I love this all day long. I'm trying to, in the middle of moving here, I'm trying to catch what's going on. And it's the same story. It's the bond vigilantes. Oh, they're coming back. They're coming back. Look, the issue of global debt here, this has been going on for months. We've been seeing this sell off here, and all of a sudden now they finally came up with, oh, maybe it's the bond vigilantes. No person in their right mind, no institution in their right mind would want to hold debt here. So there's the lender and buyer of last resort is obviously the Federal Reserve, something that you and I have been speaking about since time in freaking memorial. That's a fact. So understand what we're seeing here. Okay. Let me say this too, and I've covered this a billion freaking times, but we're going to talk about it here again for the billionth and one freaking time. If in fact the Federal Reserve can manage to just keep the 10-year yield stable without all these gyrations, all right, the market's going higher. Period. If they have to expand the war, kill another 25,000 people overnight, whatever they got to do, okay? Thank you, everyone, for supporting my work, honestly. I saw XRP plumbing earlier. Thank you for that, too. You guys are awesome. But whatever they got to do, they're going to do. You understand? Things that we can't dream about, think about, fantasize about, or anything else. Just understand. And then the lies, I want to address some of that, too. You and I, and this is the truth, period, all right, have been talking about the issues with the banks before anybody else. No loans, no deals, no deposits. And it gets even worse than that here. So this is just a little piece. I want to read some of these stats to you because they're absolutely unbelievable. Just our lovely friend here, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and BNY Mellon just had their largest deposit withdrawals ever in history. Over $44 billion is being pulled out of these institutions. But you see, you knew that because you and I have been speaking about clearly that you're not allowed to know what's going on here. It's a big, fat, ugly secret, but I'm going to tell you what it is. And you know already, there are bank runs going on today. All right. And just to push this point home here, like I just said to you, those institutions, these are the financial titans of Wall Street, witnessed a flight of $44.34 billion in one single quarter, the largest ever in freaking history. Meanwhile, deposits at BNY Mellon dropped $15.1 billion over the same period. It's all collective here. Morgan Stanley depositors keep pulling their cash out. I mean, it's an incredible situation here. Chase, Wells Fargo City recorded 85.4 billion in deposit outflows in Q2 and Q3 of this year. Look, duh. Let's get a duh. We haven't had a duh since I was away. I mean, is this news? Is this news to you? I don't think so. But it's news to everybody else because you and I called this before everyone else. I've been telling you that there are bank runs going on right freaking here in your face, but you see, they can't allow you to know it. You have to understand something. When the mainstream media has to talk about this stuff, there's a big problem. And because they're forced to. You understand? I think you get it. What I'm going to tell you yet again, and I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to anyway. You got to get your cash out of these institutions, people. Leave only in these institutions what you need. What bothers me the most here is we're not allowed to know which institutions are failing. The FDIC says it's privileged information. That means some people are allowed to know. The privileged people are allowed to know. But if you have your cash in one of these institutions, you're not allowed to know because you don't rank a fleck of dog poop. You understand? But it's privileged, and it's, that means someone's allowed to know. Of course, they're going to let all the big players. You have to understand what this means, okay? What does it mean when they say this is privileged information? You're not allowed to know which banks are failing. That means that they're allowing the really wealthy people and the larger institutions to, take their cash out first. Then everyone's left holding the bag of dog poop. You understand? I don't want that to be you. Right, Joey Sox? All my friends are here right now. Anyway, you guys get it. You know what I'm talking about? And I know that a lot of you out here have been pulling your cash out too because I've been hearing from you. Anyway, I think this is pretty profound. The largest outflows ever. Okay, that is pretty profound. And I'm telling you, we're going to see more bank failures. There's no doubt about it. You're going to see a major the Wall Street Titans. You're going to see one of the Wall Street Titans go down. And I think that's pretty freaking obvious too here, people. You know what? I'm going to tell you. I think it's Bank of America. I think they're in all kinds of. Look, there's something else going on that you must be aware of. Okay, we understand, and I've talked about this so many times it makes my blood pressure boil. Okay, what's happening? These institutions, these same ones that we were just talking about, have loaded themselves up with debt that's yielding nothing in an environment where the debt market is clearly unstable. It's selling off and yields are skyrocketing. So what does that mean in just actual terms that the regular human being can understand? Well, it's pretty simple. What's going on here is these institutions. Okay, you want me to name them again in case you got Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, BNY Mellon, Citigroup. They're in all kinds of trouble here. They're watching their balance sheets evaporate. The value of their balance sheets evaporate. But you're not allowed to know that. No, you see, it's privileged information. But you see, Greg Mannarino is allowing you to understand what's going on here. And if you're a follower of this blog, you are so far ahead of the curve, people, and I'm very proud of that. So, as I was saying earlier, if you notice the market today put on some gains, why? Why did the market put on some gains? Did you see what happened yesterday? 10-year yield over 5%. The MMRI like 330 something. Market hated it. All of a sudden, a miracle happens. Someone's buying all the debt. 10-year yield drops. MMRI drops. And the market's all happy and giddy, turned positive. And today, too, cash is flowing in as long as they can keep the debt market stable. As long as they can do it, the market's going higher. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how many people die or whatever false flag they want to throw at us. It's pretty obvious. Anyway, on a more realistic front here, again, the narrative is the consumer is strong and our economy is booming. We couldn't be better off. And Janet Yellen, I don't see anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with the economy. Meanwhile, loan defaults, again, something you and I have been talking about since time immemorial, across the board continue to skyrocket. What does that mean? Okay, let's put this together real quick. Deposits are being pulled out of these institutions, out of these banks at a record pace. I just told you. We've never seen this before. You got banks loaded up on bad debt. You got banks with loan defaults, which got nowhere to go, but worse. But you're not allowed to know which one of the banks are failing because it's privileged. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible that you could make any of this stuff up if you tried to? If you sat back and just tried to write this stuff down, like out of your head, you writing a fantasy novel, could you come up with this stuff? I don't think it's even possible to do. I can promise you, and I know all of you are smarter than Greg Mannarino here. I could never do it. Never. It can't be done. Can't do it. Impossible. Anyway, going back to the market, yes, we finished hard today on the back of the 10-year yield, dropping like a rock since yesterday. Dollar put on a big gain today, like 0.67%. That's substantial, okay? A little bit of fear, even though the market finished higher. Crude oil fell under pressure. Gold and silver didn't do nothing, really. A little pressure there, too. And then you got cryptocurrencies getting a bit higher on the market, hoping there's going to be some kind of an ETF, Bitcoin ETF. I wish Wall Street would keep their hands off of all this stuff, but they never do. It's pretty freaking obvious. So loan defaults skyrocketing, people. Let me just say this again, and I don't know another way to put it. And if you don't get it by now, you're done. These banks are done. They're done. The financial system is done. It's toast. They're consolidating power, as you and I have spoken about since forever now, and it's not going to stop. This is all about control. All this is going on right under your nose, all right? People are dying right now. Their blood's getting splattered all over the freaking place for the military-industrial complex, the war machine. They're setting up their scapegoats. Everything you and I have been speaking about since I don't know how freaking long, well, here it is. It's in our freaking face, people. I don't know what else there is to say. That's pretty much it. That's where we stand right now, people. We've covered everything that's important. I don't know what else to tell you here today, at least. Just be ready. Be ready for anything. Be ready for any freaking thing. I'm telling you right freaking now. All right. With that said, you want to do a couple of questions here? Oil stocks, energy. Okay. You want to talk about oil stocks and energy? Look, you know my take on this, and I can't say it again another way. Commodities. I'm going to say commodities like 3 times. Are you ready? Commodities, commodities, commodities. This is where you need to be. I've been telling people this for the longest time here, people. I don't know how long. Eventually, all of this is going to change. They are determined. Hanson, thank you, bro. Thank you. They are determined to keep this market propped up, in my view. They're going to buy all the debt. What does the Fed want to do? They want to be the lender and buyer of last resort. That's what they want to do. And they have moved into that place right now. Who's funding this war right now that we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars over? We don't have a war chest. It's from the Fed. They finance both sides, all sides. The Fed can give cash to anyone they want. Do you know that? Do you know that the Federal Reserve, which is not federal and has no reserve, can lend cash? They can create cash out of nothing and lend it to any nation on this earth, even if they are you ready for this? Even if they are a declared nation of terror, the Federal Reserve is allowed to lend to them. There's no oversight here. You understand? I hope you do. This institution, I've told you since I don't know how long, is a curse upon the world, is a curse on you and me and everybody else watching this. You understand? These institutions are going to freaking, well, they're destroying us. They're destroying us in the literal sense. John, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. So John Longmire just said MMRI below 300. It would not surprise me here. If the federal, I was talking to my friend, Jimmy LaRocca, you know, the drag racer. Jimmy, out there, I know you are. We were talking about this earlier today. Is it possible that let me say something. Let me just, actually, I'm going to tell you exactly what Jimmy LaRocca and I were talking about today. I said, if Iran gets involved directly here, you're going to see the MMRI drop big time. They need a massive, big, obviously Iran's involved. All right. I know that. Okay. But if it becomes more obvious, how do I put this? Some other way? I don't know. Come up with it. But if this thing spreads and more nations get involved, or whatever it might be, this thing is going to obviously, and what it's meant to do is push cash into the debt market, and that will stabilize the debt market temporarily. It'll act like a band-aid, and cash will flow into the stock market. This is what they're trying to do. War is bullish for the stock market. You understand? Human lives are meaningless in this thing. It's all about cash. It's all about the 1 and 2 percenters. It's an incredible thing. The 1 percenters own half of this nation's wealth. I want you to think about that. It's a pretty kind of an incredible situation here, but unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And Scott will tell you, Solo Geo Rider, all my friends are going to tell you. Yeah, 0.1%. It's an incredible thing. It really is. But you know what? But we got each other's backs. And I mean that in every sense of the word. I will never let you down. And you guys and girls never let me down. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they do, because you see, and I'm preaching to the choir here, and I get that. But we got this. We really, really do. Anyway, I want to thank all of you for these likes here. We got 565. I appreciate that. I usually like to see above 800. These thumbs up get the video seen, and it's up to you. If you want people to see this work, if you think people need to hear this stuff, give this stuff a thumbs up, share it, make a comment. Where's my guitars? They're all over the freaking house. I don't even know where half of them are. They're all over the place. Reezy Cup, thank you. Oil, all right, look, just embrace what's happening to crude oil right now. In my view, crude oil is going monumentally higher. It's just a matter of time before commodities really take off, people. Uranium as well. You know what I'm talking about. You gotta have exposure to here. Look, you all know what my favorite asset is in the world. Silver, right? Christine's here. Goldstein, look, Gargoyle. I am so happy to see you. I haven't seen you here in a while. All right, people, we're going to end this video. It's getting kind of long. I want to thank you again for the thumbs up. I want to thank all of you for your support. You're amazing. We got this. Let them do whatever the freak they want to do to us, okay? We are way ahead of the curve. But going back to what I said, please think about, again, look, something's going on. You're not allowed to know. These institutions are seeing massive withdrawals, historic, all right? But they're waiting. They're not going to let people know. Nobody knows until everybody knows. It's the same story. They can't allow people to know what's going on. So think about what this means for you. I think it's frankly disgusting, vomitous, and frankly insulting that the information that the FDIC is hiding from all of us, we're not allowed to know because it's privileged information as to which banks are failing. Where's our representation here? Why don't we have a presidential candidate speaking out about this kind of stuff, talking about how unfair it is? Oh no, they're pointing fingers at this one and that one and this and that, and look there, but don't look over there because I'm the guy for the job. Let me tell you something, people. If I were president of the United States, first of all, I would get shot first. I'm certain of that. But I would change everything. I would change it all. We would really run it all. All right, I'm out of here. Love you a lot. Again, thank you. I will see all of you in the morning. I hope to see you there. And well, that's all.